or on this computer, and close this and okay. So we started with the steps of ethical hacking. Yesterday I told you what steps is involved in ethical hacking, and then we saw about why we need virtualization techniques, and why we need Kali Linux, and we started with information gathering. Yes, the first step, information gathering, enumeration, or you can call it as reconnaissance, right? So we started with this, and first and foremost process of information gathering was with Google. Yes, so we started with Google, and we saw few information about Google and Google uh, search engines, and how Google works. We started with the basic. Yes, so to start with today, let's go in detail about Google, and then we'll move on to GitHub Shodan, and we'll move on with other web-based tools and OS-based tools. Yes, perfect. Okay, Google, yes, we have two types of results. One, you call it as relevant results. Okay, types of results. Types of results, what you get in Google is, one is relevant results. Relevant results. The other one is exact results. Exact results, fine. Relevant result is because you type a lengthy sentence like this in Google search. What is the use of having a secure website? Fine. You type something like this in Google, a long keyword like this. Now Google doesn't understand what exactly you're looking for. So what does Google do? Google will consider this as keyword number 1, this as keyword number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we have 9 keywords here, right? And all these nine keywords, Google will take all these 9 keywords. It is going to analyze, it is going to find where all these 9 keywords are present, and it is going to give you results. Right? In which websites we have all these 9 keywords, those websites will be given in the Google search results. And if you ask me, are these the exact result what you want, or the Google search result what you've got? Is it the exact result what you're looking for, or is it the exact answer what you're looking for? No, it is not. Right? It is a relevant result. Relevant result because Google doesn't understand what you're looking for, what you're asking. Right? It doesn't understand what you're asking, and so it is giving you something else. We have to understand that Google, you are interacting with one of the biggest database here. It's a huge database. Yes, Google is a huge database, and what option do you have here in your computer, in your browser? You have one option, the search box of Google. Google's website has nothing else. It has only one option here, which is the search box of Google, and you have the option to type something here. Fine, you have the option to type something here, and when you type something here, you have to be very careful. Why? Because it is going to get searched from the entire database, and then you're going to get results. So what you type here really matters a lot, right? So we'll have to consider what we are going to type, how we are going to type. So relevant result is not the exact answer what we are looking for. Google is giving us results because it doesn't understand our query properly, and it is giving us some results which might match your search requirement or which might not match your search requirement. Right? Exact result is what we are targeting here. For exact results, we'll be using Google Docs. As I told, Google Docs is a set of keywords with which you can access Google to get exact results, right? So in Google Docs, yesterday I told you a few things about in URL, in text, in title, file type, site, all in URL. Yes. Let me show you what is the difference between in URL and this? Say I'll give based hotels. Based hotels. We give based hotel. Okay, we'll take this, or we'll take best colleges. Best colleges. Best colleges. Fine. And okay, we'll take this result. I'll okay, I'll take a screenshot of this. Go to Paint. Test it. Now, when you analyze the search result here, fine, we have three parts here. This is part number 1, this is part number 2, and this search result here is part number 3. So the entire thing here, fine, this is part number 1, this is part number 2, and the 2 lines here, this is part number 3, fine. What is this? This is in URL. Right? This is in URL, and whereas this is in title. This is in title, and what do you call this? These 2 lines here. This is called in text. Right? This is in text. Now you have to categorize what kind of keyword you are looking for. In case if you use a keyword called in URL, and if you type a particular keyword, then Google is going to search all the websites only in the URL, fine, only here in the URL, right? In case if it is in title, it is going to search the title of the page. In text means inside the page, inside the contents of the page. So we have in URL, in title, and in text. Now, let me give you a small example of this. I'll say in URL college, right? In URL college, enter. So what result do you get? You will get in the URL, you'll get college. In the URL, you'll get college. In the URL, you'll get college. All keywords which will be present in the URL, right? In the URL. In case if I give in title, probably I'll be getting all the results which have college in the title. In text, this is in text, these 2 lines and the entire part of the website inside that will be in text, right? So we have differentiations in Google here, and you also have all in URL, all in URL and all in text. All in URL and all in text, where do you use this, or what is the difference between in URL and all in URL? In URL, yes, you can use it for a single keyword, whereas all in URL, you can use it for multiple keywords. When you have multiple keywords, say best colleges, it is a multiple keyword. In case if you have multiple keywords, then you can type all in URL best colleges. So it will consider 2 keywords, best and colleges in the URL. If it is a single keyword, in URL college, in URL India, in URL Coimbatore, something like that, then it is going to consider only 1 keyword, right? So we can start with this, and then you have few operators in Google search. You have plus, you have a plus operator, you have a minus operator. These operators, these keywords can help you a lot with understanding few things, right? Say, let me type this site flipkart.com. I'm typing site flipkart.com. So what do I get? I get flipkart.com, flipkart.com, tech.flipkart.com, everything with regards to flipkart.com. Yes. In case from this search result, I don't want a particular keyword. I don't want, say, I don't want www, right? Or you don't want any other, you don't want ultimate, or you don't want blog, or you don't want win, you don't want any keyword. What you have to do, you have to use a minus sign. Minus, I'll type www. I'm telling Google, please don't show me results with www. I don't like that. I don't need that. Yes. When I enter, see here, you don't have www here. Yes. Yes. So this minus is for neglecting or omitting out any results. whereas plus is for including. When you want to add few keywords, when I want to add few keywords like, okay, add a keyword called by or add something else, yes, you can include plus. So plus is for adding keywords, minus is for omitting any results which you don't need. Perfect. Okay. Now, having said this, now we'll move on to attacking, right? Without wasting time, we are going to have our target here. Our target website is this. Okay. This is my computer here and my browser, and my website is abc.com. Yes. My website is abc.com, and what do? I'm going to access this website from my browser. What happens in the background? Okay, let me go to this site. We started with psgcas, yes, .ac.in. Yes, okay, this is the website here. Now, we are able to see the website here, but what happens in the background? In the background, psgcas has a web server. Yes, they have a web server here. So this is a web server. This is the web server. So any website, whatever you have here will obviously have a web server. Only with the help of a web server, you will be able to visit a website and the website will get displayed in your browser. So web server is needed for all websites. It is very mandatory, which is running in the background. This web server is maintained by abc.com. Right? abc.com has a web server, and probably inside this web server, you will have to understand directories. What do you mean by directories? Directories. Fine. What do you mean by directories? Directories are called folders. They are called folders. Fine. Technically speaking, we call them directories. I'll tell you why we are going for directories. What is the need for this? If you understand this, probably you will be able to make a meaningful understanding of all the technical concepts which is involved behind this. Fine. So a web server has directories. Now, see, this college has about academics, campus, admission, student life, exam, placements, and a lot of different tabs here. Fine. So if I click about, I get few things about the college here. Yes, about the college. So what does it mean? It means in PSG server at the background, they have a directory called about. Fine. And now they have academics here, means they have another directory called academics. And campus means for sure they'll have a directory called campus. Like this, the number of directories will go based on the size of the website and tabs of the website. Now, about us, I mean, about page, in this directory, in this folder, what will be there? What contents will be there? When I click about, I get college, leadership, accreditations. I get few images here. Yes, all the things which is needed for loading this about page will be there. So you will have JPEG images, you will have MP4 files, any video files which is needed, and you will also have the script. You will also have the script or the code which is needed for that page. What do you mean by script or code? When I right click here and I go for view page source, this is the script which is needed for the about page to load. So all this script will be present here, right? Along with the JPEG and MP4. So this is the content of about. Like that, you will have contents for all these folders. This is how a web server directory is being organized. Fine, this is okay. And what do you call these directories as? These directories are called as public directories. Right? They are called public directories. Why they are called public directories? Because anyone from outside will be able to access and he'll be able to read the content of this particular directory from his browser. Yes, we sitting here, I'm able to see what psgcas tab is about us, academics. I'm able to see all these directories, and that is why we call it as public directories, right? And now you should also understand PSG College has username and password log page. They have username, they have password. Yes. So you have the option to log in your username and password. Now they will also have few private directories. Say something like they'll have a password folder, which is htaccess. Htaccess is a folder where websites can save all important files and folders, right? Or they have, in case if WordPress, they have WP admin. Or for your understanding, they can have a backup folder, like just like how in your computer you have a backup folder, just like that, they can also have a backup folder. They can also have a trash folder. Trash, they can have all sensitive folders. Say, for example, they have log files, log folder. These directories here, they are called as private directories. Fine. These directories are called private directories here. What do you mean by private directories? Private directories are not intended for anyone from outside to access. Yes, this person here, he is free to access public directories. Why? Because all these public directories are present in the website. But when this person from the outside tries to access any of the private directories, probably he will not be having permission. It says permission denied. You don't have access to access any internal directories or private directories. Why? Because these directories contain sensitive information about PSG CAS. Yes, they all have sensitive information. In backup, they should have got backup folders of their important files, important folders, whatever it can be. And in trash, yes, it is their trash. They should have deleted something. And if anyone is able to access all these private directories, then you can call it as a bug. Fine, you can call it as a bug or a server misconfiguration, fine, or a vulnerability, whatever it can be. Yes, and log files, yes, similar to that. So these are called private directories. So now understanding web server architecture for any website which you are seeing in your browser, in the background, they'll have a web server, and in web server, they'll obviously have different directories. And directories, you have two types of directories. One is public directory, the other one is private directories. Public directories, yes, you are free to access. You will be able to see what is there in the public directory, what contents are there. But for a private directory, you will not have access. Anyone from outside like this here, he will not have access to any private directories. Why? Private directories information, the information contained in this private directories are sensitive, right? They are sensitive, and those informations should not be accessible to public. Yes, great. Now, having understood this, this is one type of architecture which you have to understand. And coming to another type of architecture, right? We'll move on to the next type of architecture. Again, okay, instead of ABC, let me give it as PSG CAS so that you can relate it more better. This is PSG CAS website. I told you, in case if they have a website, it is very obvious they should have a web server. They should have a web server. Yes, great. And in case if they have username and password login, probably they should have, means someone is going to give their username and password, and it is going to get validated from their server. And they can have, it is not mandatory, but they can have one more server, which you call it as database server. This is a database server. And in case if they have a login page of email, people can use their email and password to log in. Their students, if they have email access, then probably they can have one more server, which is called a mail server. And in case if students have options to download their notes and videos from the college website, then they can have one more server which can be FTP server. This is another type of architecture. Just understand, yes, they can also have multiple servers like this: web server, database server, mail server, FTP server, different types of servers. And all these servers can be present in all the websites, or few websites will have a single configuration like this. They'll have the web server configured in a single server, they'll have a database server, they'll have a mail server, they'll have a FTP server, everything configured in a single server. You can have two types of architecture, either like this or like this, right? So having said this, we'll move on with this. As I've told this, give me 1 minute. PSG CAS, I told we have few public directories, and you also have few private directories here, right? Private directories, and these are public directories, right? And yes, now in case you wanted to access this behind the programming will be like this. When you want to access a public directory of about, usually it will be indexed. It will be indexed from this page to the about us page here. So that you call it as index of. Index is pointing. When you point to something, that you call it as index, right? So whenever you use this keyword called index, right, which means it is going to point to something. It is going to point to some directory of some website. Now, let us use this in Google. I'll go to my Google search, and now I'm not going to use anything else, right? Listen to this carefully. I'm just typing this index of, right? Index of. See here, they have index of Hindi movies, right? You have so many index of, but I'll just give index of. I'll just give index of to check how many websites globally are exposing their private directories. How many websites globally are exposing their private directories just with the help of a simple keyword called index of. Enter. Fine. Index of. IETH index of. See here, index of data, index of means it is indexing to something else. It is indexing. We just gave this keyword here, index of. So Google, what is Google doing? Google is searching all the websites globally which have few of their private directories open. So it is checking if index of this folder is open. If it is open, it is giving us in the search results, right? Index is just pointing. It is just pointing to some directory of some website. To open this, okay, I'll open this. See, you have like this. When I access PSG college website, I should get website like this, right? I should get a website like this. I told you in about us, we have JPEG, you can have MP4, and you can also have scripts. When I try to access about page of PSG from my website, I should get the entire output of the page just like this. Yes, just like this. But instead, if I'm able to access the directory structure, like, okay, this is the file, this is the file, this is the file. If I'm able to access this kind of file structure in my browser, just like this, right? And if these data are sensitive, then I can say this is a bug, right? This is a vulnerability and this is a bug. And few websites will have public directories to be accessed indexed like this. If it is a public directory, it's not a bug. But in case if it is a private directory, Tux family, okay, not this. Download asantech.com. Asantech.com. Okay. I don't know what asantech.com is. In case you want to know what this website is, I'll duplicate this tab. I'll remove download and I'll go to asantech.com. Asantech, multiply the benefits of video systems. Okay. It's IT based company here in Finland. And they have few directories, materials for download, brochures, old, okay, graphics, logos, okay, not that much sensitive, but these, when you analyze the documents and if you check if these documents are meant for public access or private access, you'll come to know if they are vulnerable or not. Software download, okay, we'll go for other search results. We have just started with this, fine. And how can you differentiate between public and private directories? Only when you look at it, when you look at the information, sensitive information, what is present based on the type of data, what is present inside these directories. With that, you can classify it as private or public. And for the first time, when you look at this, you'll not be able to do this. But when you do this repeatedly again and again, probably you'll find a lot of difference between public and private directories, right? So now we have started with index of. Now let us go here. What we did, we searched for index of. So we might get public directories. We also can get private directories like this, right? Because we just gave index of. I didn't mention whether it should be a public directory or a private directory. In case if you are aware of the names of the private directories here, I told we have backup. Yes, we have backup. So you have trash. Let's try using these keywords of backup and trash so that we directly go access all these private directories and see if we get some information or not. How to do that? We'll go for index of backup, enter. Okay, when you type index of backup, I'm looking for backup directories, and for sure backup is a sensitive directory here. Yes, backup is a sensitive directory. And what search result do we get? When you look at the search results here, see here, this is the backup folder. I'll close all these things. This is a backup folder of this particular website here. And yes, they have, see here, they have configuration files, they have forms, they have a lot of other things which log, they have log files, right? And this is sensitive. This is sensitive. And to understand this site, we'll go for duplicate. Okay, e-learning. Okay, it's again a learning platform, Spanish learning platform here. They have, okay, they have training programs, great. And they have their backup directory being exposed, and this is a bug. We are not going to exploit this, but attackers can use this information to exploit or to do whatever they want. It's up to them. And this, okay, we have the database file here, database underscore Shamdan. We have this, and we'll go for the next. .edu, most of the college websites, thumbs.db, no, this is not it. Mail storage scan, index of backup. Okay, they have a backup file, perfect. Yes, if you find these kind of information like this, you can report it to them. Probably I'll tell you how to report a simple report, how to report what this report structure should have. But first we'll concentrate on identifying how to use Google Docs. Simple Google Docs like this. We have more complex Google Docs. I'll show you that as well. But try to understand the simple Google Docs with a logic. So you'll RV engineering. Okay. RV engineering is from India. Not sure. We'll check this. RV engineering. Okay, RV Engineering is from Chennai. It's from Chennai, and they have their directory to be exposed. And yes, you are free to download this. You can download this, click this, and it gets downloaded. See here, the file gets downloaded, but we are not going to do that. You are free to access the data. And if you ask me, is it a crime? Are we committing a crime because we are doing something from websites, accessing their private directories, right? If you ask me, is it a crime? It's not a crime. Why? This is Google, and I'm asking a question to Google. I'm asking Google, give me the list of details like this, please. Right? I'm asking a question to Google, and Google is giving me all answers. Right? I'm just a spectator watching all the answers. I'm just watching all the answers. You want to blame someone, blame Google, not me. Because I only asked a question to Google. Google gave me all the answers. Fine. So it's not a crime. You can use it for two purposes. It's like a Swiss Army knife. You can use it for your own website. You have a website called XYZ. You can use Google to check if any of your website's information is being leaked out with the help of Google Docs. And in case if it is leaked, I'll tell you what countermeasures we have to take to prevent from your sensitive information being leaked. So you don't have to get a permission for doing this. That is not needed. We can just give as much as keywords and search Google to get search results. But if you find a username password from the search result, if you get a username and password from the search result, and if you watch this, then that is okay. But if you take this username and password and try to log into that website and check if it is working or not, then that is a crime. You shouldn't be doing that. Just watching Google results is perfectly fine. But when you try to take the result, manipulate it, use it somewhere else, then that becomes a crime. Google is committing a crime. Yes, Google is committing a rich corporate crime, which nobody bothers. So, okay, in case if anyone is interested in reporting to this college, RV Engineering, yes, you can report. I'll tell you how to add up keywords with this. Chennai's college. Okay, Stanford. No, it's a seminar document. It's a normal document. It's a document for seminar, which is being uploaded by someone. So that's not vulnerable. Fine. See how many websites do we have? We have n number of websites like this from different countries. Fine. We are doing a generalized search now. Fine. We are doing a generalized search. Means what do you mean by a generalized search? Generalized search. Fine. What we are doing now is a generalized search. We can also do targeted search. I'll tell you how to do a targeted search for a particular company. Fine. We'll see that. Okay. We'll move on with backup. We'll move on with trash. Trash. Index of trash. Enter. See here, you get trash folder. You get index of trash. We close all these things. This. Trash index of. Okay. What do you have here? You have cPanel details. You have configuration details, FTP. You have a lot of details here. Yes. And this is trash. Trash. We don't have anything here. Index of files, trash. Okay, they have few login details. Probably that will be worth it. And trash. Fine. So we have few trash folders. So first you need to understand what types of directories do you have, what types of sensitive directories you have. Then you have to understand Google Docs, and then you will have to move on with using Google Docs for the sensitive directories which you have, right? So now let's move on with passwords. I'll show you usernames and passwords. We'll go for a different URL here, docs here. File type is ink. File type is ink, and we'll go for excuse. You go for my SQL underscore connect. It's a configuration file. It's a configuration file what I'm looking for, and this particular configuration file is for a database called SQL database MySQL, and this configuration file has information which is related to username, password, and that is connect, right? So when we give this, probably we'll be getting usernames and passwords here. Okay, let me close all these things. And for people who say I'm not comfortable with Google Docs, and I feel difficult with Google Docs, I'll also give you an alternative way of finding Google Docs, how to use Google Docs in case if you don't know what types of Google Docs are there. I'll show you a very simple method as well, so you don't have to worry about that. When I open this, it's a configuration file here, mysql.inc, and it should have username and password. Not all will have username and password. I'll give Control F, search for password. Do we have password? No. Password. Nope. We don't have password for this. We'll close this. This TTech. Okay. See here, ttech.com. They have host name, database host name. They have database name. And they have username. And they have password. Fine. So they have a database name, they have the username, and they have the password for the database. Yes, their username is complex. Their password is, they have numericals, they have small letters. Password is complex, but the configuration file where they have stored this, they have not configured it properly. So Google was able to grab the configuration details and give it to us. Fine. And this, and this, we'll search for password. I don't think we have in this. We'll close this. Global reporting. Password. Nope, we don't have in this. This password. Nope. Okay, we'll go on. We'll go for this. Privacy error, in case if you get this, proceed. Okay, see, you have the username, host name is the local host. What is the username and what is the password? Password is West and this. Yes, so yes, you get usernames and passwords. You get a lot of sensitive information. In case if you're looking for FTP, probably you can go with keywords like this. In title, I'll give index of. Here I'm using in title, I'm using index of, and in URL, I'll be using FTP, enter, and check if you're getting FTP folders, FTP access, index of FTP, contents of FTP. Fine, yes. And scroll down, index of FTP, this is educational site, FTP folder. Fine, so you get so much of information from Google, but first you have to understand how does it work, what is needed, and what types of keywords you have to use. In case if you're looking for WordPress sites, say I might give something like this: index of, in URL, WP content, and I'll close this, right? WP content is for WordPress. So index of, I'm looking for WordPress content, enter. See here, IndieSmart, it is not India Mart, it is IndieSmart, WP content uploads. See, you get these folders, directories, sensitive directories, extract, WP content, and this, whatever I have shown you with specific keywords of private directories, they are all sensitive. Yes, and we have so much of things here. And you can also go for, I can go for a pretty long keyword like this. In case if you want something like this, I'll give HTML, I'll give PHP. These are called pipe operators. Pipe operator, where in case if this is working, then this is working, then this. So it will combine all these things, pipe operators. And I'll give in title, I can give index of, and I'll use plus, and last modified, this another plus. We'll check for parent directory. You can go on like this. It is again going to give you a lot of things about websites, right? So starting from a very small Google Doc, yes, you can go to complex Google Docs like this. In case you want to go for a targeted search, I'll say index of, we'll start with the first keyword what we have used. I'll give index of, and now I'm looking for sites only from Pakistan. So I can give index of site PK, index of site PK, and enter. Probably I'll get, see here, from Pakistan. It is all from Pakistan. From Netherlands, NL, all from Netherlands, UK, US. So you can do country-wise targeted search, or in case if you want a specific site, should we try for, we'll try for phgcast.ac.in. Okay, we gave site phgcast.ac.in index of, and do we get any index of pages here? No. No, we don't have. So in case you want to go for a targeted search, yes, please use keywords like this, or you can also use in URL, which will also work. In URL, which will again work. So you can use in URL or site and give your target name to check if you get any sensitive information about your target, right? Now, for those who say this is very tough, typing Google Docs is very tough. What you can do, type Google Docs in Google. If you type Google Docs in Google, enter, and you'll have this site called exploit-db.com, right? Exploit-db.com. Open this site, and when you open this site, you will have so many Google Docs. Give me 1 minute. Okay, and you have a list of Google Docs which you can use, and when you want to go with categories, you can go to filters, and in category you can choose any one of the category. Like if you're choosing sensitive directories here, or you want file containing passwords, or you want network or vulnerability data, sensitive online shopping information, whatever you want. Say in case if I need, okay, if I need sensitive directories, because sensitive directories is what we were looking at. Yes. So in case you need sensitive directories, click this. So all the categories will be changed to sensitive directories here. It'll all come to sensitive directories, and all you have to do is choose any one of this. Let me choose, okay, log, no, not log. We'll go for, okay, this log, FTP log, I'll just copy this and I'll have to paste in Google. So for sure, I'll be getting some sort of sensitive directories here. See here, this, right? So in case if you are not comfortable with typing your own Google Docs, which I recommend you to type, because only when you type, you will understand what is behind this Google Doc. In case at some point of time, you need any assistance with Google Docs, you can go for this. Yes. Okay. Now, what is the countermeasure of Google Docs? In case if you have a website called abc.com, or if you feel your site abc.com has sensitive information which is being exposed with the help of Google Docs, and you want to prevent that, what you have to do, this is your web server here, and in your web server, probably you will have to come up, yes, you have different folders, you have private and you have public folders, public directories. First, you need to differentiate which is your private directory and public directory. Public directory being home, about us, contact us, these are public directories what you have, and private directories like backup, like trash, WP admin, yes, and you have a lot of different private directories. Fine. Now, if you feel one of your private directories is being exposed, trash or WP admin is being exposed, what you can do, you need to come up with a configuration file in your web server, which is called robots.txt. Robots.txt is a configuration file. Fine. It's a very simple file. This file is created with Notepad, and you will have to do two things. You will have to type what is allowed and what is disallowed. What is being allowed in your website and what is being disallowed in your website. And yes, in allowed, you will have, yes, I allow home folder, I allow about us, I allow contact us. This is allowed. And in disallow, I'll have backup is disallowed, trash is disallowed, and what other folders you are disallowing, yes, you can enter it here. Firewall cannot restrict this. Only a configuration file called robots.txt can restrict this. I'll tell you why. Listen to this very carefully. This is my internet. Now, from Google search, this user here is giving a key term, is giving a Google Doc saying that abc.com, I want to access home folder. He's saying in URL abc.com, I want to access the home folder. When this request comes here, this request will come here, and in case if robots.txt is not there, right? Assuming robots.txt is not there, it will directly go inside, it will access home folder and it will go. Likewise, he is again searching, I want backup of abc.com, right? He is accessing for backup, and again robots.txt is not configured. What will happen? This request will come here and it will directly access backup. Now, if we have robots.txt in place, you have robots.txt in place, right? What can happen? Robots.txt, right? Robots.txt will give permission to Google and other search engines, right? Not only to Google and to other search engines of what to access and what not to access from your site. So you have configured this. You're telling robots.txt, if someone comes asking for home, about us, contact us, let them in. But if someone is asking for backup, trash, don't let them in, right? So when it comes to the first query, home, right? He comes here with searching for home, robots.txt will say, okay, stop here. And it will see, okay, he is asking for home is allowed, and it will say, yes, you can go, you can access home. The same person comes back with another request. He is asking for backup, and now robots.txt again stops him. Backup is here, and it is in disallowed folder. So it will say, no, you are not allowed to access backup folder because it is being disallowed. As simple as that. So the research results of all the websites, what we have got, right? All the search results of all the sites, what we have got, they either don't have robots.txt or they have robots.txt which is misconfigured, not configured properly. Only because of this, a search engine like Google is being able to crawl inside a web server and access for all sensitive information. In case if they have robots.txt properly configured and in place, Google and other search engines, they would not be able to access sensitive information. You got this? And I'll show you how robots.txt will look like. Close. Robots.txt, images. A simple robots.txt configuration file can look like this, disallowed. And you have to upload this in your cPanel of your web server, and you will have to create this file in Notepad, save this as robots.txt, just like this, robots.txt, what is being disallowed, what is being allowed, and then you have to proceed, right? Now, we'll go to Google and we'll search for robots.txt files, robots.txt, enter. I've given in URL robots.txt. Google itself has a robots.txt file, right? Google, when I open this, see, Google has a lot of fields which is disallowed and a lot of field which is allowed, right? And what other sites we have? We have, give me 1 minute. Okay, Wikipedia has robots.txt. Wikipedia has robots.txt, what is being allowed and what is being not allowed. And I hope Amazon will have robots.txt. A lot of sites, they have Amazon, robots.txt, and what is being disallowed. Yes. And very carefully, listen to this. This is very important with regards to robots.txt. You have in your website, you have blocked, you have disallowed backup folder, right? So any user who is using a Google search and who is trying to access will be stopped by robots.txt. When he is accessing for backup folder, robots.txt will block him. But robots.txt will not block manual access. What do you mean by manual access? When this person here, he directly types abc.com/backup in his browser, this will not be blocked by robots.txt. Right? Robots.txt will block searches from search engines like Google, like Bing, and other search engines. Fine. From search engines, you are searching anything. Yes, robots.txt will block, but it is not going to block manual entries like this. I'll show you a very practical example here. We'll go for this college, kct.ac.in. Any website which you take, your target website, you can take any website, and you can simply type /robots.txt, robots.txt here, enter, and see here, they have disallowed field. This is disallowed, which means if you try to access the WP admin page with Google, it will be blocked. But I'll copy this. I'll go to the same page here. I'll enter this here, WP admin, enter. When I access it manually, yes, I'll be able to access the page. Right? So yes, robots.txt has its own advantages and disadvantages. We should know how to configure it, how to deal with this, and probably for any website which you try to visit, try giving robots.txt here. We'll try for KCT, then skct.ac.in. I think this is the site. No, SKCET. So some college website like this. Okay, SKECT Krishna College. Okay, /robots.txt, enter. Okay, few pages can have the robots.txt block like this. In case if it is open, you can access it. You can see what is being not allowed, and you can try to access it manually. Fine. And few pages will have robots.txt configuration, which has many sensitive information. You should be careful about that. That is with Google countermeasures and Google Docs. I think we have seen enough of this. Now, coming to your assignment. Your assignment for today is this. And before I show you, before I tell you about the assignment, the link, you will receive a Google Drive link to submit your assignments. Right? I'm explaining it one more time. You will have two assignments, assignment number 1, assignment number 2, fine. And you will be receiving by 12 p.m. of today, you will be receiving a Google Drive link. I mean, like Google Forms. You will receive Google Forms link by 12 p.m. today. Till 12 p.m., you guys can work on these two assignments, trying to find out the answer. And if you have got the answer, Google Forms link will be shared in Skype and Telegram group. And you can use this Google Forms link, give your email ID and name, proper name, and submit the answers. And it will be validated at the end of the session, and we'll share you the results. Fine. This will be done on a daily basis. Now, coming to the assignment, and don't share these answers of these assignment in Skype. Don't discuss about how to find this, what is the solution for assignment number 1. Please don't discuss like this in Skype. This assignment is for you. In case if you have attended the session, if you have listened to my session, probably these two assignments will be easy for you, right? So assignment number 1 is this. You have to use Google Docs. Use Google Docs to find 2 college websites in India, right? Using Google Docs, find 2 college websites in India which have usernames and passwords exposed. You can use any type of Google Docs, right? And your answers, it should not be in a paragraph type of answer. I have used this is no. Your answer should be as simple as that. I have asked for 2 college websites in India. So in case if you have found the first college, what Google Docs you have used for finding out the college, if this is the Google Doc which you have used, and what is the website URL? Say it is something like this. File type. Okay. If we have used this particular Google Doc, then you have to copy this Google Doc. And if this is the website here, open this site. Oh my God, that's a document. Okay, that's also a document. What you can do is you can right click here, copy link address. Fine, you have to copy the link address of this and you have to paste it here. This is the link, website URL. And what is the Google Docs for the second college? Is it the same Google Doc which you have used, or in case if you have used a different Google Doc, give the Google Doc here and again give the URL here. Fine. So you use Google Docs to find 2 college websites in India. Don't use tools, don't use softwares, applications. No, use only Google Docs. Yes. And second one, your target website is this. It's a European website. You have this target website. Again, for this website, for this target website, use Google Docs. Fine. Use Google Docs to find any sensitive information. Like it can be a sensitive directory, it can be a log file, it can be username, it can be password, it can be anything. Use for this particular site, use Google Docs to find any sensitive information from the above target. Right? Your answer should be like this: Google Doc, which Google Doc you have used, and what is the vulnerable URL. If I click this, I should be able to go to the vulnerable directory or the vulnerable document. Fine. Yes, in case if you are from other country, people from other country also, you have to find any vulnerable websites from India, 2 college websites from India, not from your country, it is from India. Fine. And probably this, you will have a deadline of submitting your assignments before 5 p.m. today. After 5 p.m., in case if you submit, this will not be accepted. So please try to submit it before 5 p.m. And in case if you have any doubts, not with regards to the assignment, but with regards to other class things, you can ping me in Skype. Yes. Thank you. Yes. Tomorrow I'll also tell you how to submit a simple bug report. Probably that can help you. You can submit that. Then we'll move on with the tools. What is being used. Yes. Thank you. Then we'll meet tomorrow. Yes. Attendance link will be shared now. And this assignment is not mandatory, guys. It is just for you to work with what we have learned. And as I told you, people who submit these assignments and who give the correct answers, 20 of these people will be selected for the next upcoming training of us, 10 days training, which is a paid training. We'll select all these 20 people free of cost, and we'll make them attend those training as well. Yes. And you'll have the attendance link shared now. Thank you.
Good morning. I hope my voice is audible. I am going to share you the attendance link right now. And if you have posted your attendance, you can leave the meeting. And people who need Skype group link can come back so that I will share you the Skype group link. And as Sir said, the Google form link to submit your attendance will be shared by 12 p.m. I hope it will be shared in the Telegram group. So you can submit the answers there. Please do not disclose the answers in Skype group. Don't send your answers in Skype group. The form will be shared and please submit your answers only in the form. Apart from that, other doubts, yes, as usual, the lab timing is on and we'll be active till 1 p.m. So you can post your queries there. We'll be there to assist you. Yes, so if you have given your attendance, you can leave.